Hey you guys, it's Britt. Today we're here to react to kind of a part 2 to my other video that I did a couple days ago on Without a Crystal Ball. This is from a channel called Without a Crystal Ball versus Without a Crystal Ball. Katie Joy on demons, goblins, and autism. So what this channel has done is basically proven her hypocrisies, proven her lies, and I'm here for it. So if you don't know who this channel is, I will link them down below. But if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so the video is almost 20 minutes, so I do have it sped up to 1.5 times speed, just so I don't keep you here for hopefully not an hour, but just in case it sounds different. Sometimes I speed up my reactions just to get through them because I know that you guys have lives just like I have a life. But yeah, we're gonna get right into it and see how many times Katie Joy can trip on her own words. Let's get started.
I shared a video earlier today about a pastor in Tennessee that was like yelling about children with autism having being demonic. And I don't really talk about my son, but he does have autism. So that video for sure is very hurtful. Those comments are really hurtful to parents and kids and adults that have autism. And I just think about how hateful all of these people, all of these so-called super ultra conservative Christians like this man are, how hateful they are. I don't understand in what world calling a child a demon is even appropriate.
This is something that she does a lot, where she will blanket statement entire groups of people. Now, I understand that super conservative, Christian radical thoughts are upsetting for a lot of people. But if you want to be an advocate, and you really want to be an advocate for kids with autism, adults with autism, survivors of SA or DV or any of the things that she pretends like she advocates for, there's power in being able to look at situation by situation and person by person, instead of saying they're all bad. For now, let's just focus on the pastor that was allegedly jumping up and down screaming and making really hurtful comments. As a commentary channel, she wants to be this respected journalist and be trusted with news and breaking information. But when you're unable, and you've proven you're unable to look at things on a case-by-case basis and really take a deep dive into this situation, and let's talk about this person, that can be really problematic. She just wants to blanket statement all people with autism, all radical Christians, all the Duggars, whomever it is, they're all bad, or they're all annoying, or whatever. I think one of the funniest things that I've seen time and time again with Katie is that she demands the respect of journalists when her actions would show that she does not deserve the respect that a journalist or a good YouTuber gets, because she doesn't handle things with care. And she doesn't care to fact check or make sure that she's not being a hypocrite, or make sure that if she receives new info, she tells her audience about it, because she would rather be right than have to come and say that she was wrong.
It doesn't make any sense to me. What does it matter if I make a joke calling child's crotch fruits? That's a joke. And I didn't call them disease-riddled crotch fruit. You're just adding the disease-ridden part.
So this is going to be proven as a lie in 2 seconds. But before we get into it, this is not a joke. And some people might be like, oh, well, you're just being way too uptight about it. I cannot stand when people use, oh, it was just a joke, as a cop-out when they're called on their shit. And Deaf Noodles has done this a lot. And Dad Challenge Podcast has done this quite a few times, where You call them out on something, and it's just a joke that nobody understood because we're all just so dumb. We didn't get the joke. If nobody is laughing at the joke, it's because it wasn't a joke and or it wasn't funny. I don't understand what universe you have to reside in to think that calling young children who cannot defend themselves crotch fruits, goblins, demons, whatever she wants to say, none of those things are funny. They never were funny. They never will be funny. And that's not being an uptight, whatever, that just doesn't understand comedy. It's just the fact of the matter that it never was funny. You want to act like you care about children and you want to act like you're an advocate, but you will call them things like this, say that it's a joke. You'll also call people who make essay claims liars and brats, just like she did with Sophie. So you are a piece of trash if you do any of those things.
I said crotch fruit, which is literally a joke. It's like a goblin. It's like calling a kid a goblin.
And it says, the definition of goblin is an ugly or grotesque sprite that is usually mischievous and sometimes evil and malicious. So where is the joke? Did I miss it again? Am I just that dumb? Or is Katie just that gross?
It's a joke. Take your Karen ass and get out of here.
Block, bitch.
Bye, Chelsea. You're psycho too.
Block, bitch.
Oh, Martha. You exist just to hate people.
Block, bitch.
Who knows what's going on with them, because we'll never know. But we do know that your diseased, riddled, meat fruit or, loin fruit children, nobody wants them. CPS is not taking them.
I didn't call it a disease-ridden crotch goblin.
I don't understand where CPS came into this conversation, but to sit on your channel and live stream those words coming out of your mouth and actually laugh at them and think that you're just being witty and funny and cute really goes to show, at least for me, the audience that she's attracting. Because when you have a YouTuber who says really grotesque things about people, whether it's people or children or a little bit of both, when you then have people who are attracted to that kind of commentary, I think it really not only says something about the creator, but it also says something about their audience, where you're entertained by really disgusting commentary. This is not the type of commentary to make you think and let's have a deep conversation about it. These are just deep personal insults that are designed to shock. They're designed to get attention. And it also, I think, shows a lot on both sides.
And she has 7 crotch fruits. And I'm not judging, but it's always the anti-vaxxers that have 87,000 kids. It's so annoying.
See, here again, she wants to blanket statement all anti-vaxxers as having too many children, or what she deems as too many children. This is the thing, she's incapable of looking at things on a case-by-case basis and actually direct a conversation solely based off of this circumstance or this situation. It's always, oh, well, all of these people are like this, all of these people are like that, instead of saying, this person said this, let's talk about it, and let's talk about why it's a problem, and then we'll move on to the next thing.
It's 87,000, disease-riddled meat. Ugh. Okay.
And I didn't call them disease-riddled crotch fruit. You're just adding the disease-ridden part.
And to act so grossed out by kids, I don't know. She gets so upset if somebody has an opinion about her child or her parenting, but then she can be completely grossed out by kids that she knows nothing about. They're not in her family. She doesn't know any of these people that she's making these insults towards. Who's actually going to her channel and taking anything that she says at face value and what I'd like to know even more is who was watching that content back then and actually enjoying it.
Online trolls literally live in the world of literal. They think if you say one thing today and it's different the next day, somehow you're a liar. Like, people are...
Well, because you are a liar. Because what you do is, instead of saying, my opinion changed on this, I said this back then, that's no longer how I feel, you just glaze over it and think that people don't have all of your hypocrisies saved and they can't be published and put side by side exactly how they're done in this video. Because you are a liar and you constantly say things and then say something completely opposite, and it's not a change of opinion because you got updated info or you're looking at something differently. It's because you forgot that you were lying your ass off 2 years ago, and now this updated opinion is just coming off as you being a hypocrite.
Like, the trolls, they think that a joke calling children crotch goblins is somehow the most offensive thing in the world. Like, I did not make that up. Have you guys heard the joke about when you have a kid and you call it a crotch goblin? Like, I didn't make that up.
I never heard that until I came across Without a Crystal Ball. And again, I don't think it's a joke. I don't think it's funny. I don't think that many people would find that entertaining or quick or witty or cute. Most people would just look at it and think that she has the intellect level of a first grader by coming up with something that gross to label children as.
It's a freaking joke. Like, but in the literal world of the trolls, they think that it's the worst thing ever to joke that a child is a crotch goblin. It's a joke. Because your child comes out of your crotch. It does. Your child comes out of your vagina. It's a joke. But these trolls literally think that, like, if you say crotch goblin, somehow you're disrespecting all children. And I made a comment about, one day I was being silly and I said, like, oh, Jill Duggar can have all her crotch goblins. It's a joke. Like, apparently you can't have a joke.
Nobody laughed at it. And the only reason I'm smiling right now is because you're so dumb. How ignorant to literally sit there and stand on this hill of saying something like this about a child that you know nothing about. And you think that it's just a joke. It's not a joke. Nobody laughed. Nobody's laughing now.
I love judging the Duggars or the Duggars or whatever you want to call them and all their dumb crotch fruit. They have so many crotch loin fruits that it's hard to even keep up with them. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm missing one of the crotch fruits. I don't have anything to tell you about Josiah other than he's still gay and he and his wife are still pregnant. All right.
This is something that she's been doing for a very long time, labeling people as gay. And this is also where I come back to the point of who is actually looking at her as a trusted source to give any kind of, even if you're just looking at it for Duggar stuff, why would you trust her to give any information that is even remotely factual? It is so clear that she has a deep personal hatred for the Duggars, and she will literally say anything about them. Doesn't matter if it's true or false, or if it's a small little piece of information that she has turned into a boulder. She will spread it all over her channel because she knows that that is her cash cow, is the Duggars. And I just don't understand how anyone could look at her and give an ounce of respect, considering all the shit that she's done on this platform.
And Mrs. Jim, Bob, and Michelle have bred 19 crotch fruits, and Michelle would probably have more goblins come out if she could, but I'm pretty sure her uterus is shriveled up and dead.
Can you imagine talking about another woman's body like that? That is so gross, and I really don't understand. It's bad, and it's really bad for anyone to say it, but coming from a woman talking about another woman, Katie is not for female empowerment. She is not an ally. She is not an advocate. She is an exploiter. She is a liar, and she is a huge egomaniac who cannot be wrong.
But people's opinions are allowed to change. People's approaches and how they treat people and how they think and how they feel and how they put information out into the world and the jokes that they make, that changes. People have a right to be silly, goofy, and say things that are goofy and silly if they want to say things, if they want to be.
But that wasn't ever silly and goofy. And I know that people can change. That's called growth. And I think it's awesome to see people grow and, admit that they might have a little bit of a different point of view. But she doesn't do that. She hardly comes to her platform and says, I got this totally wrong and this is how I feel about it now. It's her thinking that people won't look back on other pieces of her videos and put two and two together because she thinks that her audience is as dumb as she is, and they're not.
Funny, they have a right to be funny. Not everything's so literal. It's, I don't know. I've heard so many people say it. I didn't come up with it. Like, kids can be little goblins, and you made the goblin, so it comes out of your crotch. I mean, it's the truth.
Yes, but it's not yours to call it that. Do you call your son that? If so, then that's your journey. I still think that's extremely detrimental and sad coming from his parent. But you're saying it about other people's children. That's where the problem comes in.
I don't know. I don't know why that's offensive. Crumbs sandwiches. Can't joke anymore about anything, I guess. Crutch goblins, rugrats, hump dumplings. Yeah. Why is a rugrat any better? Oh, you called kids crotch goblins. Oh, humanity. Oh my gosh. Call the ambulance. Call the wambulance. That's what we would say in our house. Call the wambulance.
She really thinks she's so witty and funny, doesn't she? It's just cringeworthy to see her laugh at her own jokes, as she calls them, even though they're not fucking funny. If you're the only one laughing, then it's not a joke.
How hateful they are. I don't understand in what world calling a child a demon is even appropriate. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I can't for the life of me understand how people can go after the most vulnerable people in the world. Like, why would you target a child with autism? Why would you do that?
Why would you target any child? I'm asking you, Katie, because you have targeted many children on this platform, ones that have been in need of support and lifting their voice. And what you have done instead is called them liars, brats, crotch goblins, and all kinds of defamatory remarks towards entire families. And that's why you're not an ally. And that's why everybody, at least a lot of people, look at you, point, and laugh, because you are a joke on YouTube.
Why would you bully a child that way? And why would you think it's okay to make those kinds of comments with 2 million people on a platform?
Why would you think that it's okay to call the Duggar children gay? That is not your story to tell, even if it was true. Secondly, you're spreading that with no information. It is not based off of fact. And even if it was, again, let's go back to point A, which is it's not your story to tell.
Knowing that there's all these people eating up what you're saying and not consider that there's actually children that you're talking about that are real people. And then that stuff is put out into the world and it's like, how could you even talk like that about a kid? I'm sorry, I'm so emotional. It just bothers me. It's just hurtful to hear people talk about.
I've never seen someone on YouTube, at least not that I've covered on my channel, that is so entirely two-faced. Literally a completely different person periodically. Will literally say the sky is blue and a month later say the sky is red. And not go back and try to explain why the opinion changed or what the new information was. I have never seen someone contradict themselves so often and feed out so many just lies and hypocritical statements to their audience.
Children that way that are disabled. It's not, children with autism are already up against such obstacles, and then to be so cruel to them, it's horrible. You love the crotch fruits.
Yeah, but what's the problem? Why is Gypsy mad about the act?
Because it makes her look really damn bad.
Well, she murdered her mom.
Well, I think they played up on Nick's autism and made him look way more innocent than he is.
Well, he is absolutely developmentally delayed and should not be in prison.
Not as much as people think.
Not as much as people think.
That is really, the specialists have all contradicted themselves. When you read emails that he does, he is intelligent.
But that doesn't, you can be intelligent and autistic.
In this interview, I have seen this section before a long time ago. She has to be right, and she has to be the one that knows the most about autism. We're going to keep watching, but it's very interesting to see how this is not a fluid conversation among three people. This is Katie having to be right yet again.
Yeah, no, autistic, absolutely. No, not the same. No,
But he's
no.
not developmentally slow in any means. No.
But autism is considered a developmental disability.
It's considered a neurological disability.
No, it affects all aspects of development.
No.
He
My
was
son is autistic, so
okay. Do you believe that your son could be manipulated into
Just because her son is autistic in Katie's mind, that means that she knows all of the answers and she knows all of the information, which typically, when, at least from the situations that I've seen, a lot of parents who have autistic children want to lean on medical professionals and others who are in the same situation that they are to have a conversation and, come up with ideas and talk to one another. But in this situation, she has the autistic son, so she knows the most out of everyone, and she is the one that's going to be right. Everyone else is wrong. And, I guess in her own mind, she thinks that she is a doctor, a nurse, and a specialist all in one.
murdering somebody?
yes,
You do.
yes.
Why? And where is your son at on the spectrum?
He's high functioning
He's high functioning. Why do you think that could happen?
because they're vulnerable.
Because you're actually the first one that we talked to that has said that.
I think anyone that has autism can be manipulated because they're vulnerable.
So Dee Dee Blanchard's case just wrapped up, right? So Nicholas Godjun just got sentenced to life in prison for killing her, which PS is super stupid. He shouldn't have gotten life in prison. Dee Dee deserved to die.
So after she said that her son could be basically coerced into murdering someone, it's odd thinking about the Instagram live that was deleted, because she did make it seem like, I don't know, he was just the sweetest person that just needed a lot of love and affection. And while I agree with that, all kids need love and affection. Some need different levels of care and attention. It's just very funny to hear the way that she was speaking about him on that Zoom call versus more recently what she was saying on Instagram Live. And I also saw that someone found a post, I think it was from 2017, saying that her son is actually not even autistic and he was misdiagnosed or something like that. I'll try to put it right here and you guys can pause to read it. But I also found that really interesting. So you just never know what to believe with her. You really don't.
I know, these kids with autism are the sweetest children you'll ever meet. I hate how society acts like they're horrible and they're mean and they're cruel and they're not affectionate. The biggest stereotype about these kids is that they don't know how to have relationships and they don't know how to
But you literally just said that your son could be coerced into killing someone.
attach, and they don't know how to be affectionate, and that's not true.
And I also want to say, do you know how embarrassing that is for her son, who at some point in time is going to come across all of this footage of his mother talking about him online? And also these clips that we're going to watch in a minute are so painful and so embarrassing to know that they're online. To me, it's just incredibly dangerous to sit on public platforms and air out your child's laundry. I'm not going to call it dirty laundry, but their medical issues, their behavioral issues. None of it belongs online. None of it belongs, especially when you have a platform like her where you're showing his face, you're really well known on YouTube, not for being the best person ever, but combine that with showing all of his information and stuff. It's really sad. I don't know.
My son is so affectionate. He is so hands-on and always wants hugs and always wants kisses, and he's not he craves emotional connection.
Oh, okay, fine. You guys, I'm gonna hate this. What?
So watch this clip. Her son needs some attention and a little bit of undivided use of her time. And he opens the door and immediately sees her have a mini meltdown, hands over the face, very bothered. And let's see what happens next.
Fawn, I don't want you to cry or scream. What is wrong? I'm online, honey.
I just told Sam,
Yes, that's what they're called, is wind chimes, and I don't want you using those right now. They're too loud. And stop yelling at Sam. Why do you always interrupt me?
I just want to tell you that Daddy just, we were talking downstairs about playing up my Manics and my Legos.
Yeah.
And I told him to apologize to me, and then he went upstairs, and he wasted my time because of all that yelling he did.
Okay, that's fine. Goodbye.
Oh, you can't say that to me.
With
I guess my question too is, why wouldn't she have just stopped the stream and said, hey guys, I need to spend some time with my son right now. He needs some attention. He walked in, he wasn't even wearing pants. That doesn't belong on YouTube. Stop the stream. There is nothing that should come above the attention that you need to give your son. He's obviously seeking his mother out for a reason. And I'm pretty sure that her subscribers would have understood if she cut the stream, said, hey guys, I gotta go, and I will be back on later. It is what it is. I'm pretty sure that most people would not have said, oh my God, you suck, I'm unsubscribing. People are gonna understand it. They get it.
They have to get to a point where they have... Hold on one second.
you cannot have him screaming like that.
Sorry guys, my son is just like losing, I don't even know where he is. All I can hear him is screaming and my husband doesn't seem to care. Anyway,
so she doesn't know where he is. She doesn't know why he's screaming. The thing that really bothers me about this clip is that she didn't take 2 minutes to go investigate to see, why was he yelling? Is he hungry? Is he hurt? Is he not feeling well? Is there another adult that is giving him the attention that he needs right now, no matter what that is? To just open the door and scream down the hall and then vent your annoyances to your subscribers is so distasteful, and it really is just another example of how much she cannot unplug from YouTube, even when she hears her child yelling from another room in the house. And I know that YouTube and social media, this is her job, even though in my opinion, she's not very good at it at all. When you think of the amount of time that she spends every day online, that's where in my last video I was saying, like, how much uninterrupted time can she really give her child when from the time she wakes up to very late at night, she's making videos, editing videos. I know she doesn't go on live like she used to, but she used to do live streams during the day too, responding to comments, making thumbnails, uploading videos, doing Instagram lives, posting on Instagram stories, responding to Instagram comments, fighting with people on Twitter. When you combine all of those, there's only so many hours in the day. So anyone that wants to question, oh, well, I'm sure that she's still spending time with him. Yeah, maybe they're in the same room together, but it's exactly like what I said. Undivided attention is different than a parent having their face in their phone. Those are two completely different things. Kids want undivided attention. They don't want, the parent to have their face in their phone. That's not the attention that most kids crave.
Mommy's streaming, okay?
I hate that people with autism are treated so poorly and are so misunderstood and just chastised and cast out and made to feel like nobody can understand them or that they're not worthy.
It's especially bad when it's happening with their own mother, with their own parents in their own household.
Or that they're not. It's just so painful for them, and it's so painful for their parents. Like, all these kids want is friends, all they want is acceptance, all they want is to be loved.
Yes, and when her son comes to her wanting attention and love and affection, he gets turned away, or a mini meltdown, or being yelled at, or being yelled at from a different room.
Second, my son is 6 years old and he often will walk in on streams and interrupt. Sometimes you will see me being short with him. That does not mean I don't love my son. My son has many disabilities and he has a RN and LPN that are here with us every single day to keep him safe.
Yesterday,
There are many times where even if you have a live-in nanny or nurse or whomever, there's still a craving from the child that they want to see their parent. So just because you have those, they are not replacing you. They are there to help. And if the child is seeking out the parent, there's obviously a reason for that. It's not because they want to bother you. It's not because they're, just deciding to be annoying, God forbid. But it's because they're seeking their parent. They know that they have a babysitter, a nurse, an au pair in the home, obviously. They understand that. But if and when the child is seeking out the parent, that is the time to stop the stream and take 10 minutes and, give some undivided attention.
I had to have a nurse leave. I thought I was going to have to call the cops because she would not leave my home. She was screaming at me. She was making my son cry, making my son shake. She basically just lost her mind on us because I told her that she had to be in the basement and she didn't like that answer. She accused me of treating her like an animal, which I don't. And then if I pointed out that she was staff, she would accuse me of being rude or treating her like an animal. That's actually what she called me. That's actually what she told me yesterday, was that I was treating her like an animal and I wasn't respectful and I was mean to her, which was not the case. Yesterday was probably the most terrifying day my son has ever lived through. He was shaking. It was really scary. And my son didn't understand because he's autistic and he has a low IQ. And he believes that when mommy's yelling, it's because mommy's being mean, and sometimes when I'm yelling at him, I'm trying to get him to do stuff. And, sometimes when I'm yelling at him, I'm trying to get him to do stuff. And so he was thinking I was being mean to her when she was.
I think the whole nurse story is a crock of shit. I don't believe a word that she says.
Really yelling at me, and I was just trying to get a word in edgewise and she wouldn't allow me to talk. So the nurse that we actually just let go, she had been with us for a year and my son was really attached to her. And unfortunately, she was extremely abusive to me and to my son verbally. And I was very patient and put up with a lot of her stuff because my son loved her and my son doesn't have any friends, none. And he thought she called her his best friend. And because of that, I felt very guilty that I didn't like her, or that I think I let some of her bad behavior slide because I just liked that my son had a friend. She came into the home and she was really good with my son. And at the time we had another nurse that was having some really big problems with boundaries and was disciplining our son and was commenting about my parenting and telling me, I shouldn't be doing this or I shouldn't be doing that. And, that's again about.
The nurse was probably commenting about the parenting because she was seeing the things that we have gotten a small glimpse into and realized that this is not what the child needs. And I realize that boundaries have to be set, but at the same time, when you hire a professional to come into your home and assist you, if they see verbal or emotional or physical abuse happening, they have every right to step in and, share their opinions about the situation. And if they need to report it, they have the responsibility to report that to the authorities.
Boundary issue. When you're a staff in a home, it's really not your choice to decide how someone parents. The parent is the parent, the staff is the staff. So we had one nurse that just decided she wanted to discipline him, and I never gave her approval to discipline him. And she decided that she was going to start taking away his iPad, and she decided that he needed to do things besides look on his iPad. And
maybe he does need to do things besides sit on his iPad. Maybe she wanted to take him outside for a walk or just go sit on the balcony to get some fresh air. For a child to be locked in their room with a caregiver all day and be expected to be entertained by an iPad and maybe some Legos, kids need so much more than that. They need more interaction. They need to get outside. They need to be in other rooms of the house doing things.
She would fight with me about his iPad. She told me that he needs to do more than have his iPad. I've had nurses tell me that what I feed my child isn't right. Told me that she doesn't have to work in a place that has stinky diapers. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. She didn't want to be in a basement. One day she didn't want to be in a room. Another day she didn't want to be in his room because she said that
I don't believe 90% of what she's saying. I don't believe it.
She just can't sit in a room all day and be with my son. But that's literally what she's hired to do.
Is he not asleep? Is he asleep?
I had spent 10 hours in that room.
I've seen this clip before. She gets so embarrassed by her husband saying that he spent 10 hours in a room with her son. And I don't know the details of this, but it is so cringy to see how she automatically puts up this protective barrier to, it's almost like she doesn't want anyone online knowing what a piece of shit she is. And most people had already gathered that there were some really questionable things happening just based off of what we had seen and heard, not hearsay and not rumors. There were a lot of those going around too, but things that were actually seen and heard were a huge cause for concern. And to see her just like freak out, just end the live. Go have a conversation with him. Go do what you need to do. I don't understand this whole like continuing to live stream when her house is falling apart.
It's been a busy day.
Yeah, it's a busy day because being a parent is hard. I'm not speaking from direct, experience or anything. You guys know that, but having kids is hard, and that is your responsibility as a parent. YouTube and social media and all that stuff, I know that that's her source of income, but you have a child who needs you, and obviously when he reaches out for you, the door is slammed in his face or he's met with a really sour response. And that will stick with her son for the rest of his life. He will remember the times that he reached out for her, being denied or being met with a really salty attitude. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's already affecting his relationship with her. Why wouldn't she just end the live? What a dumbass.
He has life-threatening and multiple health conditions. I am not a crappy mom because I asked him to leave. In fact, I spend most of my day with my son.
You can't spend most of the day with your son if you're simultaneously constantly doing videos, getting multiple videos out per day, sitting, all the things that I listed earlier. It is impossible to do that and spend actual good quality time with your son. It is impossible. I don't care how much energy you have, how many cups of coffee you drink. And again, if you're equating sitting on your phone on the couch next to him as quality time, I'm sorry to break the news to you, but that is not quality time with your children. Quality time is it's typically device-free or limited device time. And, that's what they crave. That is what they need. And I truly think that Katie has a problem with disconnecting from the internet. I don't think that she is someone who is able to just put her phone away for a couple of hours and not be on Twitter or worrying about what's going on Instagram or if she's getting any crappy comments, because she has to police her echo chamber and make sure that she's not letting too many people that are against her in.
And we have a very close relationship, so don't come at my parenting. Thanks.
My husband is in the room right next door on the other side of the wall with my son, and my son had me like shoved in in this office all day long because he's in this phase right now where he's just like really not into me. He's like all about daddy, mommy go away, mommy go away. And then he's like, mommy, you're always working. And then he's like, mommy, go away. So if I want to come down and see him, he's like, mommy, go away. Oh, the joys of having a child that is 6.5 with autism, that can only do his routines and just want his daddy for everything and has completely lost his interest in mommy.
Well, he's saying, go away, mommy, you're always working, because of what he's seeing and the reactions that he's been met with when he did need you. Like I said, kids aren't dumb. Kids are, they will remember these things. And once they become a pattern, they will say, okay, well, I want the other parent. Or I want grandma because she gives me the attention that I need, and I'm not met with a salty response when I say that I need her.
I've lost my place in life, you guys. I don't know what I'm doing with myself anymore.
Like, my little boy has such a rough life. You don't even get it. Like, he hasn't left the house in months. He only goes to the doctor or to therapy.
Yeah, and he probably does have a very rough life, and I don't want to discount that, but that also speaks even more to how much he would need his parents, you know, and he would need that undivided attention. And, you know, like, it's all about balance. I understand that being a full-time content creator is a completely different job than what a lot of people do, because you are home all day, but that's also a luxury. That is a luxury that a lot of people would love to have, because if you organize your day correctly, and if you're not addicted to the internet and creating echo chambers on your platforms, then what you can do is block off certain time to make content and edit, and then you can spend time with your child, and you can take them to the park and, you know, take the dogs for a walk and make sure that he's getting outside of the house. And it just seems like, you know, based on what we've seen, that's not something that Katie allows time for. So either way, that was really painful to get through. But for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.